Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Hope you are fine with the grace of the Almighty God. So, students, from today, I have already started the revision. Today, I will revise with the chapter 11, and our topic of the chapter is New Empires and Kingdoms. As you know that this is the from the history portion, and already the explanation is over. I myself have done the explanation. Now I will show you the video that will help you to better learning of the chapter. So on your screen, you can see the video, okay, which will help you to understand.
New empires and kingdoms. After the decline of Mauryan Empire, two large political entities, the Kushanas and the Satavahanas, emerged in North India and Deccan respectively. Both the kingdoms declined around the middle of the 3rd century CE. Prior to that, in the middle of the 4th century CE, a new empire arose in the Ganga Valley which had control over a large part of India. It was Gupta Empire which left a deep cultural impact not only on the subcontinent but also on the adjacent Asian countries as well. We get information about this dynasty from inscriptions, coins, monuments, and literary evidences. The rock-cut temples of Ajanta, brick temples in Kanpur, Deoghar, and Jhansi give us good insights into Gupta times. The account of Chinese pilgrim Fa Hien gives us a vivid description of the period. Abhijan Shakuntalam and Meghdoot, written by Kalidasa, provide a glimpse into the socio-economic conditions prevailing in the period. Trivia: a major numismatic event to take place after the annexation of Malwa, Gujarat and Saurashtra regions to Gupta kingdom was that Chandragupta Vikramaditya issued coins with his Kshatrap type bust on obverse, and on reverse he placed a guard, an eagle, in center instead of Chaitya, and sun or star with Brahmi legend around, imitating Kshatrap fashion. Param Bhagwat Chandragupta Vikramaditya around the center. Chandragupta I. The first important king of this dynasty was Chandragupta I, who ascended the throne in 320 CE. His marriage with Kumar Devi, a Licchavi princess, increased the political prestige of the Guptas. He had his capital at Patliputra. He extended his influence over Prayag, Allahabad, and Saketa, Ayodhya, in Uttar Pradesh. He occupied Magadha, which was rich in minerals, and the fertile Ganga Valley, which made him powerful. He took the title of Maharaja Adhiraja. Samudragupta. Chandragupta I was succeeded by Samudragupta, who is regarded as the greatest ruler of Gupta dynasty. He was an ambitious king and occupied Delhi and western Uttar Pradesh and fought against the kings of Orisha. Apart from being a good ruler, he was a scholar, musician, poet, and warrior. He was so powerful that he received tributes from the kings of Nepal, Assam, the Kushanas, the Shakas, the republics of Rajasthan, and even from the king of Sri Lanka. He is referred to as Indian Napoleon because of his military achievements. He patronized music and was an accomplished veena player. Some coins of this period show him playing a veena. We get valuable information about his military achievements from a Prashasti inscribed on Allahabad pillar inscription. Prashasti is a Sanskrit word meaning in praise of. Although Allahabad pillar was erected by Ashoka, but the Prashasti on this pillar was written during the Gupta period. It was composed in Sanskrit by Harisena, the court poet of Samudragupta. Chandragupta II. Vikramaditya. Chandragupta II is also known as Vikramaditya, as powerful as the sun. There are inscriptions about him found at Udaygiri, Mathura, Sanchi, and on the iron pillar at Mehroli. He was a great warrior and a diplomat who sought to increase his kingdom through marriage alliances. Thus, he added Gujarat, Malwa, and Kathiawar to his kingdom. He defeated Shakas and won control over busy ports of Bharuch and Cambay. He made the trading town of Ujjain his second capital, which further strengthened his control over trade. His court was famous for the presence of 9 famous scholars who were called the Navaratnas or 9 gems. Kalidasa was one of the 9 gems. The Chinese traveller Fa Hien came to India during his reign and has left behind an account of his kingdom. He described Chandragupta as a wise, just, and benevolent ruler. According to him, Gupta capital Patliputra had stately palaces and buildings. The people were law-abiding and honest. Laws were simple and punishment was not too severe. With the end of the Gupta dynasty, a number of small kingdoms arose in North India. About 100 years after the Guptas, a king named Harshavardhan united the small states of North India and set up a new kingdom. 3 kingdoms that gained importance were the kingdoms of Harshavardhan at Kannauj, the Chalukyas of Vatapi, and Pallavas of Kanchipuram. Figure 11.2 Allahabad Pillar. Harshavardhan. Harshavardhan became the ruler of Thanesar in modern Haryana in 606 CE. He was just 16 years old when he was made king after the death of his brother. We have information about Harsha's empire from an account of Chinese pilgrim Yuan Sang, who was a guest at Harsha's court and wrote in detail about Harsha's administration and court life. Information about his reign is also available in Harsha's biography, Harsha Charitra, written by Banabhatta. Soon after ascending the throne, Harsha moved his capital from Thanesar to Kannauj as it was more a central place. Harsha's empire extended from the Himalayas in the north to the river Narmada in the south and from Punjab in the west to Bengal in the east. Harsha restored the conquered territories to their rulers as long as they promised to pay him regular tributes. He attempted to cross river Narmada but was defeated by great Chalukya king Pulakeshin II. Administration. The rulers of the period assumed high-sounding titles and performed Rajsuya and Ashwamedha sacrifices to show their power. The structure of administration of Gupta was like that of the Mauryas. However, the Mauryan administration was centralized, whereas during the Gupta rule, the governors of the provinces were powerful and thus administration was more decentralized. The king was assisted by a council of ministers. The ministers were highly paid officials who often led the armies during war. In later periods, they were granted land instead of cash salaries. This weakened the king's position as the officials started becoming powerful and tried to break away from the empire. The empire was divided into provinces called Uparika, which were generally under the princes. The provinces were divided into districts called Vaishya under the Vaishyapati. A large number of officers are mentioned in the literary works. Important posts gradually became hereditary. An important person could hold more than one administrative or judicial position. In the villages, the headmen and village elders looked after village administration. Agriculture was the chief source of state revenue. Hence, irrigation was given a lot of importance. To increase revenue, some rulers extended agriculture to wasteland by making grants to these lands. Most of the rulers took steps to promote both inland and maritime trade. Each city had a council which had a council president, chief scribe, and representatives from the guilds of merchants and artisans. It is believed that in Gupta kingdom, the officers had powers to make decisions locally. Deccan and South India. At the time when Harsha ruled in North India, many small kingdoms emerged in Deccan and South India. The two most powerful of them were Chalukyas of Vatapi or Badami and the Pallavas of Kanchipuram. We come to know about these kingdoms from a large number of inscriptions and copper plates. The languages used are Sanskrit, Tamil, and Kannada. The Chalukyas. The Chalukyas set up their kingdom in the 6th century CE in western Deccan with their capital at Aihole. It was an important trading and religious center
AC is
with a
there in the
number
room.
of beautiful temples. Their best known ruler was Pulakeshin II. He defeated King Harsha in the north and Mahendravarman, the Pallava king, in the south. His empire stretched from Arabian Sea in the west to the Bay of Bengal
What
in
class
the
going on?
east and from River Narmada in the north to the River Palar in the south. Later, the Pallava king Narasimhavarman defeated and killed Pulakeshin II. His court poet Ravikriti Prashasti describes how he defeated the great ruler of Pallavas and made him take refuge inside his capital Kanchipuram. Pallavas. They were probably a local tribe who ruled between 6th to 8th century in southern Andhra and northern Tamil Nadu. Their capital Kanchipuram became a great center of learning and a town of temples. Mahendravarman I was the most notable Pallava ruler. Besides being a famous warrior, he was also a poet, dramatist, and a musician. He was succeeded by his son Narasimhavarman, who led successful expeditions to Sri Lanka. After the death of Narasimhavarman, Pallava Empire declined due to weak successors and continuous wars. Rivalry between Chalukyas and Pallavas. Pulakeshin II wanted total control over the Deccan Plateau and had a long drawn out battle with the Pallavas. He defeated Mahendravarman, but he was defeated in the next battle by Mahendravarman's son Narasimhavarman, and his capital Badami was also captured. The struggle for supremacy went on till the middle of 8th century CE when both the powers declined. Local assemblies in South India. Under the Pallavas, local administration was controlled by three kinds of assemblies. A village assembly, which included all classes of people who owned land within the village, was called Ur. A Sabha was a Brahmin assembly found in villages where all the land was owned by Brahmins. In a similar manner, there was an organization of merchants known as Nagaram. These village councils functioned through several committees. Each such committee looked after special tasks like roads, temples, irrigation, and other affairs of the village. There were many other local assemblies depending on the population of village or town.
So students, I hope that you understood the explanation, and already I have explained and the video is uploaded. This video also will be uploaded in the YouTube. Do watch it, and if you have doubt, then you can say me. Till then, that take care. Thank you. Bye bye.